Hey there everybody, welcome to the Pike Homestead. So yeah, last time we were showing what it's like doing chores in the ultra cold, and it's warmed up a little in the days since then, but outlook from a couple of days from now until pretty much Christmas is supposed to be down, averaging around -20 again. So we want to try to fix some things up that we need to get taken care of today. I got a couple of chores that I want to do, a couple of projects. So the minerals for the goats, they keep knocking the tray around. It kind of hangs on the metal fence there, but they keep knocking it loose. So I want to make a permanent bracket in their stall there and attach it and screw it in place so they stop doing that and they can get their minerals rather than spilling them all over the floor. But we want to make sure they have the diet and the supplements and everything to have what they need. So we've got another mineral feeder that's attached to a fence in the goat run, and we're going to pull that off. Because again, the goats, they're kind of picky about the snow. So I'm just going to pry that off and mount that in the chicken coop. And then we've also got a better door. There's a solid door that was sitting next to the coop when we moved in. And I did try to I attempted to attach it back before the snow came, but it didn't quite fit. So it used to be on there, but the frame of the chicken coop has obviously shifted a little bit, and it no longer hung flush, so I had to trim the door down and then put some holes in it for proper ventilation, because it's a solid insulated door, which will make it significantly warmer in there for them. So I'm going to, I've cut that down and everything and got it ready, so I want to mount that on there. So anyway, those are the projects I'm going to be working on here. Alright, so here we are. I've got it mounted, and I haven't changed anything as far as the mounting holes or anything. Like this door was on here before. It's got, the holes from the hinges on there, and the hinges have not moved. But if you look here, like this is the original hardware that was on the door as far as I can tell. When we moved in, the mesh door was on, and I added a barrel lock onto it. Took into this. So this, I was assuming, would line up, but it does not. Just using these holes. But the reason I didn't put this on earlier is because I didn't have the room to move the door. It was pinned right there in the corner and would not close. I could not move it up to adjust for this. And right down at the bottom right now, you can see through, I guess, the shifting and changing. Like the door is warm. It's been in the heated shop all day, so it will probably contract a little bit, but the bottom of the door itself also doesn't go all the way in. But now I have about a ½ inch of space up the top that I cut off, so I can shift it upwards and make up that difference, and then readjust for the barrel lock there for the lock here to latch it in. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to disconnect the hinges, raise up the door a little bit, and reconnect the hinges. And yeah, we'll see if that works. I mean, once it's not hitting the bottom, I think it's going to close. It will just close. And then I think as it cools off, the wood should contract a little bit and maybe make that a little bit easier, I'm hoping. But yeah, so it's successful so far. I mean, this will keep them safe tonight, but I want to get that done before I lose the light here. So here we go. that's the door adjusted, and it's sticky, but it opens. It opens and it closes, and yeah, that will stop a lot more cold weather from getting in there. I'll keep them warmer. So let me just go over a little bit here. So you'll see at the top there's a bunch of holes. I drilled those just for airflow, because they're, like it's a closed-in ceiling up above, so the heat isn't going to have or hot air and whatever air transfer isn't going to be able to get out for moisture. So we put in those just to get a little bit more airflow through this door. So this is a solid, thick door, and it is insulated, so the heat will stay in more. So yeah, I just had to get it in place and then attach the hinges, see if it works. Didn't work, so then I had to adjust the hinges and their heights, and then it still wasn't quite working, wasn't quite lining up. So I just had to use my pry bars and kind of wedge it over a little bit so that it actually works. And yeah, I can open it, I can close it. The chickens are safe and secure. I readjusted the lock there just so that we can lock it up properly. And yeah, it is good to go. So now the next job is the supplement feeders for the goats and for the chickens, because we want to be giving them some oyster shells for their so they can get their carbon input, right? And the goats to get their supplements as well, because they keep kicking it all over the place and throwing it on the floor. But the fencing in there's nothing for it to be really mounted on, so I got to build a mounting bracket and attach it to it. And the one I want to use for the chickens is actually in the goat run. So I'm just going to go over and see if I can pry that off. It's nailed to the fence, so I'm hoping I can get that pried up here before I run out of light. And yeah, we'll just keep plugging along and see how it goes. Okay, so I'm just going to run over to the goat pen here, as it's right next to us in the chicken coop. It's just easier to go through the gate to get to where I want to go, and see if I can pry this thing off without breaking it. See if any goats come out to say hi. They don't like the weather. If it's snowing or raining, well, you can see they don't travel far. And where they do travel, it's when we're out here to guide them. They're big chickens when it comes to dealing with weather. Right here. Hello guys, how are you? You gonna come out? No? Okay. Alright, so the supplement feeder that I want to pull off here is one that was put in for cattle in previous years. That is this right here. And it is nice and firmly nailed to the fence. So I'm gonna get working at prying that up without breaking it. So wish me luck. Alright, so I'm here in the barn. Got the cats. It's right around feeding time this evening. They're ready to eat. And so I'll just throw on the goats here. They're all happy now that I've come inside. Got my tools all laid out there. They're not quite sure. Duke's not quite sure what to do with a drill and a jar full of screws. But they're all happy. Hey, they were running around like crazy. Hey, happy boy. Yeah. That's a good Duke. Good Duke. Daisy, Sally. Hi guys. How you doing? Oh, yes, I know. It's feeding time for you too, right? We'll get that done in a minute. So anyway, they've got this supplement bucket in here that, we would just kind of hang like that. But they also like to use the bars to scratch on, especially Sally there. She'll rub right along it, and it keeps getting knocked off, and all the supplement salt and everything gets knocked all over the floor. So that's not good for your long-term health, is it? They were going for the longest time without doing that, and then they've just started doing it. So I've got a 2x6 and a 2x4, so I can space it out on the wall here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount the 2x4 to the wood here, and then mount the 2x6 on that, and that'll give me enough lip to connect this over it and screw it into place. So that is what I'm going to do now. And yeah, we'll just set you up, I guess, with another time lapse and we'll go from there. All right. So here's the finished product. It's kind of guesstimating what their height might be. And I'm thinking it might be a little bit too high, so I'm probably just gonna kind of undo it and remount it, just put it down lower and they'll be able to get in. They can reach it, but it seems kind of awkward, so I'll just probably put it down a little bit lower. But they seem happy to be able to get it too. Like both Daisy and Duke have been right in there. So I'll just lower that down and it's good, and it's a finished product. Alright, so that's working much better. I mean, they could reach it, but it was a bit of a stretch. So I kind of took a guesstimate just looking at them and saying, well, they can fit their heads in at this high. I don't want it too low, but it's got to be low enough for them to reach in. I hadn't thought about the depth of the container really. So take that into effect, and yeah, mounted right along the foundation there, and it's a perfect height for them. Alright, so I'm just going to give them their evening feed, fill up their oats and hay for the night, and that'll be good night to the goats. Well, hello. What is it you guys want? Can I? Huh? Okay. Demanding hungry kittens, that's what we've got here. Good thing I've got food. See, they know the drill. Hey guys. Happy cats. Rocket's not quite sure what to make of the camera yet. What's going on, Mama? What? You had enough of the kids for the day? You had enough to eat? You're not starving? Or just cold and knocking over my haystacks? Alright. So anyway, as you can see, it's gotten pretty dark pretty quick here. I've run out of light and I don't have a light source in the chicken coop. So I will get their supplement put in tomorrow. Gonna make sure everybody's in here and safe and happy. And yeah, it's definitely warmer in here with the door helping keep the heat in. You know, we're still sitting above freezing. The water is in good shape. Got enough feed. And it looks like everybody's here, so we're all good. Hey, so we're at the next morning as I ran out of light to finish putting in the trays for the chickens. So I'm just gonna mount that in there, and that'll be this job. So yeah, been in there already this morning. It's much warmer in the coop with the solid door, so that's a success. Chickens weren't huddled together quite so closely overnight, so you know they're spreading out on their roosts a little bit. So that's a good sign. So it means it's doing its job just in time, as we're going to be hitting, you know, minus 20 plus for the next couple of weeks up until Christmas. As we're what are we? It's December 11th right now as I'm recording this. So yeah, we got another cold front coming in. So it's good to get that done now and keep better care of the chickens. So yeah, I'm just going to get that mounted up. And there we go. So they have their supplemental calcium with the oyster shells. So if they need it, they can have it as they're enjoying their feed right now. And yeah, so that's that job done. So yeah, we've got other projects on the go for the chickens here. So, you know, with the cold weather, I'm going to be keeping the door closed a lot more to keep the heat in the coop. But that means we've got to make the cage section of the coop a little bit better for them because they really don't enjoy the snow. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of box in an area here. You can see there's some plywood that was actually up there when we moved in, and we just kind of left it to kind of keep the snow out, but it doesn't do that great a job. So I want to get something, you know, a little bit more, just kind of do this whole panel here on the top, cover that off, and we'll probably put some kind of sidewalls down on this section, as well as put a door in there so we can, you know, toss feed in and stuff just to get them out, and have an area that's kind of covered and sheltered from the wind. It'll kind of block the wind going in the chicken door there as well, and make, again, things a little bit more warmer and give them a chance to get outside and scritch around in the dirt. So that's going to be the next chicken improvement project here, and so we'll record that for you too, and yeah, you can follow along. As you can see, they do like to get out, they just don't really like the snow. And you can see where we put some straw down. You know, that was all covered in snow 2 days ago, and they've scritched it clear as we've put some kitchen scraps out for them. So that's good, and have them living their, you know, best possible lives here in northern Alberta. And yeah, so successful venture all around. Everything's all done and put together. I'm happy with it. Got lots of big projects coming up over the next, you know, years, as we build up our homestead here and make it into what we want, and make it into an example of what you can do at home. We've got lots of space here to play around with, and we've got some big plans for it. So follow along, like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. It helps us a lot. And yeah, so anyway, I hope you enjoyed this this update from the Pike Homestead, and keep watch. We've got some good informational stuff coming up real soon here. So we've been working on a couple things to get going. All right, so have a good day, and yeah, we'll see you next time.